E-Kings Fight News. Breaking news. HBO boxing is done. It's over for these guys. Forget about HBO because they are out of the sport of boxing. And I'm going to tell you where it all started and where it all went wrong for HBO, and it has something to do with Al Haymon. E-King Fight News. More on that. All right, let's get it. Man, HBO is really the first casualty to the new boxing boom. And, you know, right now, HBO had that statement. They released a statement saying, you know what, boxing, right now it's on so many different platforms, so many different networks are now have boxing content. And as a result of that, it's quote unquote not unique to HBO, you know. And according to them, you know, it's not part of their future going forward. You know, HBO considers themselves more a sports entertainment than they are sports, right? And it's absolutely true in terms of what they're producing right now, what they're marketing. It ain't boxing. Boxing is not at the top of their list. But why did it come to this point? Is the real question. How did the number one network for boxing, HBO damn near ran the sport of boxing, the number one network, how did it fall so flat? How did it fall so far from being a standard bearer to the bum on the fucking street, man? How did it get this bad? How did HBO Championship Boxing turn into ESPN Friday Night Fights, man? E-King Fight News, man. Let's get it. Well, I'll tell you, part of the problem is right here. This guy Jim Lampley, who damn near built his whole fucking livelihood off HBO, been on the network for damn near 30 years. And you wonder what really went wrong. I'll tell you what went wrong. This dude's been hating on black fighters since the beginning. Since Floyd fucking Mayweather, he's been hating on black fighters. Since Roy Jones Jr., he's been hating on black fighters. And I will never forget what this guy did to Guillermo Rigondeaux's career with fucking Moses Flores. This dude was the reason Guillermo Rigondeaux didn't get a win and got one of his knockout victories turned into a no fucking contest. Was this guy right here, Jim Lampley. Man. Oh man. You know what really was the beginning of the end was when HBO put out this statement saying they refused. They will not work with Al Haymon's fighters over a Showtime, or they refuse to do any business with Al Haymon. That's what they did, and that was really the beginning of the end. Because you know what? Regardless of what you want to say, when Al Haymon had his fighters on HBO, they were doing numbers, and HBO was killing it. It doesn't matter what you really, because the fights may not have been great. They might have been easy fights for like Andre Bertos and fucking, who else were they showcasing? They were showcasing Andre Berto back in the day. They were showcasing I think the Paul Williams of the world, and Paul Williams had some great fights on HBO. Paul Williams had great fights. Other Al Haymon fighters, man. Back in the day, I mean, of course, Floyd Mayweather, the pay-per-view draw to surpass all other pay-per-view draws. I mean, if you really think about it, you know, when Al Haymon, when he made that Showtime move and he dropped the PBC, that was the beginning of a new age, man. Because now that boxing has freed itself from these premium networks, now they're really feeling the heat with Fox getting into boxing, with NBC showcasing boxing, with fucking ESPN. Now they have this major boxing program with ESPN. They've lost their hand on the sport. They've lost their control. Right? They lost their control. And it all started with Al Haymon, man. When they decided not to work with Al Haymon fighters, all they had was Top Rank. And that was the beginning of what was considered a Cold War in boxing. All they had was Top Rank and Golden Boy. And when those two had their split, man, it was beginning of the end. Because HBO had lost damn near all their great fighters. Right? They lost all their great fighters. And what were they left to do? They still had guys like Miguel Cotto, Canelo Alvarez, Triple G. You know, they had Sergio Martinez. They were doing okay with Martinez. You know, they had Manny Pacquiao. Man, they were eating off Manny Pacquiao. They were eating off Manny Pacquiao. And then, what did they do? They rejected one of Manny Pacquiao's fight. And that was really the nail in the coffin. Was when Top Rank left HBO. But it all started with Al Haymon. I'm telling you, it all started with Al Haymon. And I did videos on it. New Media. Ego did videos on it. 78 did videos on it, man. We all told you. That wasn't a good move for HBO. When they pulled that bullshit, it wasn't a good move. And it led to this, man. I'll tell you exactly why. I just gotta think about this shit for a second. Okay. Y'all gotta remember this shit. I believe somewhere around the time, a couple years ago, when something happened between Top Rank and Golden Boy, right? I think it has something to do with Chavez Jr. and Sergio Martinez. When they had their fight, something else was going on. That was the HBO fight, and there was another fight on Showtime. And that's what really started the rift between Showtime boxing and Top Rank. Because before, Top Rank was putting their fighters on both Showtime and HBO. But then Top Rank was like, okay, fuck Showtime. They're fucking up my pay-per-view with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. So then what happened? It further cemented the rift between Al Haymon, because it was Al Haymon fighters on the same night. That was on that broadcast on Showtime with HBO and their pay-per-view with, I believe it was Chavez Jr. and Sergio Martinez. Something like that. And then Bob Arum was like, okay, fuck you, Al Haymon. Fuck Al Haymon fighters. You know, we rock with HBO. HBO for life, right? Right? Remember that bullshit? And then, I'm telling you, that was the beginning of the end, because HBO, all they had left was top-ranked fighters. And I guess they worked with Golden Boy a little bit. They worked with Golden Boy and Top Rank. And then around that time, when PBC launched the following year, guess who was suing Al Haymon? That's right, it was Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya, and Bob Arum, who all they had were HBO. And that was when shit was really starting to hit the fan. Because they were losing license fees. You know? They were losing that network money, because HBO had to split it up between Golden Boy and fucking Top Rank. There wasn't as many dates. And HBO was getting more and more invested into these dudes fucking Sergey Kovalev and fucking Gennady Golovkin. Now, we all know Sergey Kovalev was brought to HBO by Kathy Duva, right? And Kathy Duva was milking the shit out of Sergey Kovalev. Milking the shit out of them HBO licensing fees, underpaying Kovalev. And HBO, they didn't give a shit because Sergey was knocking everybody out at the time. But remember what happened. Showtime had Adonis Stevenson, and HBO was promoting Adonis Stevenson at the time, one of the last Al Haymon fighters. And what happened? What happened? Kathy Duva shit the bed, and they couldn't make. They were hiding money. They were hiding money that was available for Adonis Stevenson versus Sergey Kovalev. And guess what happened? That fight fell through. Negotiations fell through. And HBO lost a key fight to really cement them as still a great boxing network. They lost Sergey Kovalev versus Adonis Stevenson. I'm telling you, that fight had huge implications. Because the consolation prize was fucking Bernard Hopkins versus Sergey Kovalev, man. And no matter what, man, Bernard Hopkins was not going to do those kind of numbers that Adonis Stevenson was going to do on HBO for damn near the undisputed light heavyweight championship of the world. Damn near. So, I mean, fuck, man. I'm going to do a part 2. E-King Fight News. Y'all know what it is. E-King Fight News, man. We're out. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more heat. Because, you know, we spit that heat over here when it comes to boxing. E-King Fight News, we're out.